to introduce him formally now. Sukhjit Singh is an accomplished career development professional and an avid volunteer. He's also known as a change agent. An Indian by birth, Sukhjit came to Canada accompanied by his wife, his daughter, in 2009. After spending almost 10 years in exciting new career teaching computer engineering and management in a post-secondary institute, being inspired by volunteerism and become passionate and a proud Canadian, a strong supporter of social and civic inclusion for newcomers to Canada. He feels that volunteer work is not only a way to gain Canadian work experience, but also best way to participate in and to learn about how we in a new country as well. Volunteering has become a passion for him, and he cares passionately about empowering and motivating other newcomers to Canada. Sukhjit became motivational storyteller recently. He published his first book, Same Shoes, Different Doors. The book is a chronological stories of his journey of struggle and success as a new immigrant in Canada. Sukhjit is a frequent speaker at many events in the GTA and shares his experience and enthusiasm with others as a member of the several community-based organizations. At present, he is a regional reviewer and Employee Development Social Canada and Public Policy Committee member at Volunteer Canada, mentor at YMCA, ambassador to Volunteer NBC. In past, as a volunteer, he chaired Institute of Canadian Citizenship, Peel Chapter. He's a board member at Inform Canada, speaker with Passages Canada, a member at Heritage Minute Advisory Committee. He was the co-chair of the Ontario Minister of Labour Small Business Task Group, member of the Interfaith Council of Peel, board of director of Volunteer NBC, co-chair at Peel Newcomer Strategy, Group Social, Civic, and Economic Inclusion Committee, brand ambassador for Region of Peel's Immigration Portal, ambassador Canadian Immigration Integration Program, mentor at TRIEC, PIC, member of the Peel District School Board, and many more. Sukhjit lives in Mississauga, Ontario with his wife and daughter. He's interested in sports, and now he's taking up karate. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Sukhjit Singh Ahluwalia.
Thank you so much, Gaya. You have read half of my book now, okay?
Half of your book.
But thank you so much. It warms my heart every time I hear what I wrote and what I have done and accomplished. It gives me sense of belonging because to me, I am now 13 years old kid in Canada. When I say 13 years old, exactly in 2009, which is why Gaya mentioned it was 2009, Gaya, by the way. Who else would be the best person? Because I know, Uzma, I met you after a year or so, but Gaya is a living example of today's topic, how, what, and what not is legacy is. So when we hear the word legacy, there are many things which pops in, like, you know, it can be this, it can be that. But thank you so much, Gaya, for this introduction. My promise to Malton Women Council, next time you ask my bio, I will give you the most updated one. This is also updated one. There is nothing which has gone wrong, but there is a better one. And it also tells you a little bit more about my involvement. There are many exciting things which I have embarked on. And thanks to, again, wonderful people like Gaya, Uzma, Anu, who's not present, because they've been closely working with me with my journey and multiple other things, watching me very closely, guiding me very closely, and also being my critic as well. Because it was a total new life for me when I moved to Canada. From a computer engineer, I switched to nonprofit, and I'm so glad that I chose this because that is where my heart is. And today I'm very honored that I am joined by Dr. Zarina Bukhari, Narinder Kalsi ji, Gulnaz, Rintu Bhatia, Tahiya, Surjit ji, and some names which I'm seeing for the first time at Malton Women Council: Manmeet, FTS, Sandy Communication, Zubda, I missed it, Nav, and Gulnazi. So it's an honor for me to join this group and to share what I know. So there are two parts of my presentation and my discussion with you on legacy. The first part is ABC of legacy, but the second part is actually for the very first time on one slide, there are some historic pictures of my family, which I will be sharing for the very first time. So let's dive in. Let me start sharing my screen and we will take it from there. Just give me a thumbs up when you see that you can see my screen. All good. Thank you so much. I go with the name of winner of happiness when I need to explain what is the meaning of Sukhjit Singh. Sukhjit is Sukh is happiness, Jeet is winner. So winner of happiness. Rest you see all my titles. I also want to give credit to my daughter, credit to my brand manager. My brand manager is a person who guides me invisibly because she does not want to come into the picture. She guides me in the right direction so that I can be with the current word, which is the word of social media. So thanks to both of them. My daughter is another person who is young enough now that, and remember Gaya, when first time I met you, she was 18 months. Now she is a grade 9 student, but her contribution in certain things are really something which are standing out. So today we are talking about a topic which is very close to my heart. So that is living your legacy, understanding the concept. And in this, I have splitted our discussion into 4 major parts. There are 2 very interesting activities. So, and whenever you want to take a break, unmute yourself, and please make sure that you say that you want a break, because our session is almost timed for 2 hours and 15 minutes. It will not finish before that, but I can increase the speed if you say, but I guarantee that through this presentation, it is not about learning, it is more about sharing, because certain things are already there in you, but it will be a reminder. So we'll talk about concept, we'll talk about few other things which are related to legacy, then living or leaving a legacy. We'll talk a little bit more about that, and of course my story of living and leaving a legacy, and then there are 2 activities which are involved. So let's start with our first activity, and I will say in this you don't need to do much. What you need to do is just give yourself few minutes and think about a person, an influential person. It can be in the community, in your family, in your neighborhood. The person whom you see is either influential or somebody who is a source of inspiration to you, who is serving a positive role model, right? So think about it, and then I'll ask you a few questions. We'll pick 2 or 3 of one of you, and then we'll talk about it, right? So think about a person who impresses you, either living or not living, or either a member of family, or at work somebody, or somebody whom you don't know but you know them from social media. So we'll give few minutes, think about it, then I'll pick 2-3 names, or you can unmute and you can start. But remember, this person, Tahiya, I see you are raising your hand, but remember, pick somebody who's not controversial. Number 1, pick somebody who is a regular person, but he or she has done so much that you remember. I prefer if you can pick somebody who is very close to you also, right? Because sometimes we don't know, or we know that legacy is next to us, but sometimes we don't know, right? But sometimes you just recently realize that, right? So Tahaya, why don't we go, and please tell me if I'm not saying anybody's name correct me, please. So Tahaya, please go ahead.
Sukhjit ji, I'm just wondering, like, is it like any celebrity or any like a famous person, or is it from our community or from our family?
Anybody who inspires you, anybody who who gives you motivation, who is a role model, who is a positive figure, positive face for you, that you know what, when life is going up and down and when things are not well, or you need a motivation, you might have picked a book, you might have spoken to somebody, and or you might have watched a movie, right? Something like that. So it can be anything. uh, I mean, there is no limitation.
Yeah, then what do you mean by the person is not like a like, what did you say about the person, like
Which
like कि
one?
वो controversial नहीं होना चाहिए, right?
See, controversial, when I say controversial, just to give you an example, if you're giving me an example of Donald Trump, to some, he's a hero, to some, he's not. So I prefer we stay away from that. But if Donald Trump is your inspiration, please go ahead. The thing is not about the person, but how do you remember that person? Why that person is a role model? And yes, this is the best question, Taya. Thank you for asking. I think we should not limit. I take my words back. Mention anybody. So
Thank you.
perfectly fine.
Thank you
Perfectly
so
fine.
much. Thank you so much.
But okay, so you wanted to ask a question, but you don't have anybody on your mind, or you want to think a little bit more.
No, I have in my mind right now, but that's why like I'm asking you, because you just limit us to.
Okay, I lifted the limit now. You go ahead.
Thank you so much. So I can go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, for my inspiration, I'm a very big fan of Imran Khan, like
Okay.
who is recent like a PM of our country. So he did an amazing job in every aspect in our lives, right? So first of all, like he's a very good human being. I'm not talking about the political aspect.
Go ahead. Don't
Right?
worry about it. Go ahead, Tahir.
Yeah, so he's like a very good human being. और मैं उससे हमेशा इंस्पिरेशन लेती हूँ, क्योंकि वो बहुत ज्यादा हमेशा उन्होंने जो हमें एक वो दिए, जो एक राह दिखाई है, वो यही दिखाई है कि जब भी कोई नेगेटिव उसको कमेंट्स मिलते हैं या कोई लोग उसके आगे खड़े होते हैं, तो वो कभी उस नेगेटिविटी की फिक्र नहीं करता. उसने जो करना होता है.
Excuse me, can you please speak in English?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
Tahir. I think I should have
sorry about
mentioned that.
Okay.
There
no.
are some of there are
Thank you.
people among us.
Thank you.
So we'll stick to English.
Okay, no worries. I'm
Go ahead,
I'm
Tahir.
doing that. So he's like a very positive person for me. Like he made a cancer hospital in Pakistan, which is unbelievable thing for other people or other countries as well. So he like make like one university, Namal University, and so many things like which I can't explain over here, which is gone. It's going on and on like that. So I'm saying that my inspiration for now is like Imran Khan. That's it.
Thank you, Tahir. And
Thank
by the way, my interest in world politics also, and sometime on my way back from office to home, I tune into 770, and you know who comes on 770 at 4:30. Her beautiful voice and the education I get, because my interest is not only Canada but worldwide. But thank you so much, Tahia, for sharing that who inspire you to be inspired. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Rintuji, did you raise your hand? And then you're on mute, Rintuji.
नहीं, मैं नहीं ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਜੀ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਜੇ ਕਹੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਬੋਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਬੋਲਾਂਗੀ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਚ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਉਹਦੇ ਚ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੰਫਰਟੇਬਲ ਹਾਂ. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ.
So give me a second.
Yes.
Dalia, as soon as Rintu is done, I will try to convert that in English. Go ahead, Rintu.
ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਮਿਟਮੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਲੈਂਗੁਏਜ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵੀ ਬੋਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਸੀ, ਬਟ ਮੈਂ ਕਮਿਟਮੈਂਟ ਨੂੰ ਨਿਭਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ. ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਇੰਸਪੀਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਦਰ ਹੈ. ਮੇਰੇ ਮਦਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕਾਈਂਡ, ਜੈਨਰਸ, ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਰਿਲੇਸ਼ਨਸ਼ਿਪ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਟਾਈਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਖੜਾ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਦਰ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮਤਲਬ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਵਰਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਆ ਗਈ ਕੋਈ ਵਰਕਰ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਮੇਡ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਸਰਵੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਅਗਰ ਈਵਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਫੋਨ ਹੈ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਗਿਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਰਿਕਸ਼ਾ ਵਾਲਾ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਸਤਸੰਗ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜੈਨਰੋਸਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਮਾਈ ਮਦਰ
Wonderful, beautifully said. For those, I can simply say in one line is not enough. But for Rintu, it is her mom who is a source of inspiration. And the example she shared that can actually, put you in the moment of wow, is that she gave her cell phone to someone who needed it without even asking. So that's wonderful. Thank you, Rintu ji, for sharing your inspiration with us. So Gulnaz, please go ahead.
My inspiration is Uzma.
Oh, wow.
Uzma Irfan. Because Uzma Irfan is the one who bring me back to Malta Women Council. I was one of the founder member of Malta Women Council, but I was never active in Malta Women Council. I was used to come only in the International Women's Day and the functions and sometimes in meetings. But during this COVID period, Uzma was used to behind me all the time that you should do something and you should, you have done so much have done my master's in botany and a lot of courses, but I was never active. I never did job here. But due to Uzma, I joined the MWC and it's all the sessions and then I did a lot of online courses and now I'm doing some project with Malta Women Council and I think I'm learning every day some new things.
Beautiful. Gulnaz, thank you so much.
And one more thing, and after reading the book which is recently Uzma published, for her father, and I'm really impressed to read and to I have read that book and it's really amazing.
Wonderful, thank you. I still have to read the book, but thank you, Gulnaz, for saying that, because now we'll have an example which is right in front of us. So thank you, Gulnaz. Narinder ji, you go ahead. I think I missed you, so please go ahead.
Doesn't matter. My inspiration is my brother.
Okay.
And now he is retired from very high position in the AG office in India. He was on very high position. And he is my inspiration. Since our childhood, we are discussing each and everything with each other. And wherever I am wrong, he advised me. But wherever he is wrong, I advise me. So there is no secret between us. Every person has ups and downs in their life. And so was with me. He was always good. And he encouraged me.
Beautiful.
And guided me to what to do, to do like this. And I was encouraged. And he always tried to encourage me. Though I was also in a very good position. I was principal, retired principal. But our intimacy is just up till now. Whenever I am sad, he is daily ringing me.
Beautiful.
We are discussing each and everything. And second person is Uzma Irfan.
Beautiful.
she also encouraged me very much. I also discussed her with my problems, and she helped me also. Whenever you call her, she is always present and ready to help anybody. And
Thank you.
she helped me a lot also.
Thank
So
you.
these two persons are
Beautiful. Thank
me.
you. Thank you, Narendraji. Other participant, you might have noticed when Tahiya ji mentioned about the political figure Imran Khan, when Gulnaz mentioned about Uzma, when Renderji mentioned about, and I'm looking forward to hear from some of you, right? If you have anyone, please let me know. The tone completely changed. There is a smile, there is a hope, and you know, when you are describing the character that who inspires you, you are filled with energy. That's how the power of legacy work in invisible way, right? So I'm very glad that you are speaking up and you are sharing all this. And you also said something that how now, if I take example of Tahiya, she mentioned about a prime minister of a country, and as a proud resident, as a proud resident of Canada, but origin your origin is in Pakistan. That how much you are attached, because as a person you can see the growth, right? So there is a kind of positivity, a hope, or something else, right? So thank you for that. Yes, Zubda ji, please go ahead.
मैं एक्चुअली मैं उर्दू में बात करूंगी क्योंकि मुझे मेरी
See, I'll tell you, Zubda ji, I have no control, but my promise is I will say something in English what you have said. If I've said wrong, correct me, and I'm not going to say everything, but please be comfortable. I think I think now I think Uzma ji, you are also okay if I allow them to say that, and I can say that in English later on. Please go ahead, Zubda ji.
मेरी जिंदगी में सबसे ज्यादा अहमियत थी मेरी माँ थी मेरी रोल मॉडल और मेरी मदर जो थी उन्होंने सारी जिंदगी एक बहुत समझे कि कहते हैं कि स्ट्रगल की जितनी उन्होंने कि जिस इलाके में वो रहती थी 40 साल उस इलाके को उन्होंने पढ़ाया हाई स्कूल था उनका वो प्रिंसिपल थी और हमेशा उन्होंने इन्होंने इतनी जिम्मेदारियां निभाई थी कि इवन के अपने बहन भाइयों की भी शादियां की उन्होंने खुद अपने जिम्मेदारी से
ब्यूटीफुल
तो मेरी अम्मी ने जो कुछ भी मुझे सिखाया मैं उन्हीं की चीजें लेके साथ चल रही हूँ
ब्यूटीफुल
मेरी माँ ने कहा कि बेटा जिंदगी मोहब्बत करने के लिए कम है लोग नफरत कैसे करते हैं फिर मेरी माँ ने कहा कि बेटा अगर अपने दिल में अल्लाह बसाना है तो ये जो किराएदार है ना इनको अपने दिल में ना आने देना कौन से किराएदार कीना कदूरत हसद बोगस इन चीजों को अपने दिल में ना लाना वरना रब नहीं आएगा दिल में
Beautiful. Thank you, Zubda ji. I know I cannot exactly translate those typical words, but I can tell you that for Zubda, it is her mom. She was a school teacher, and her legacy is so inspirational for Zubda that till date, she is following the principles, be it having the name of Almighty God, or be it serving others. So this is how Zubda is inspired by her mom. I know before Uzma, I think it is Manmeet, you raised your hand.
Yeah, hi. Since everybody is talking about their mother, I'm really getting emotional and I want to talk about my mother here.
So just give me 1 second. I think, Uzma ji, you wanted to translate those words in English. That's why you raised your hand?
No, I just wanted to let you know that Dalia is not here. However, Gaia is here. I just realized, yes, Gaia needs English as well.
Oh, yes, Gaia. But I hope I'm doing good in translating whatever has been discussed. Okay, good. Go ahead, Manmeet.
Yeah, so I cannot list out that my mother taught me big principles. I saw a lot of generosity or something. But what I took from my mom was that follow your heart and there is no age for anything. So my mother could not complete her education because she lost her parents. She was raised by her brother. And she was very much married into patriarchal home. But I saw her wearing those chiffon sarees, which are right out of Yash Chopra movies. I saw how she set up a table teaching me how to speak in English so that I could pass my interview and get admission in a convent school. So if I'm talking in English right now, it's because of her efforts and her belief that, you know, things can be changed. So what she didn't get, she tried everything to pass it on to me. And then she learned how to drive at the age of 55. And
Wow.
I remember when I was married once, I came home and there was a smell in her room. It was the smell of the paint. And I saw she was painting a sari. And I realized she is and she used to literally do modeling in her so-called little kitty parties and clubs. So I realized she was so full of life. She is so full of life. She wants to learn. And this hunger for learning, this never giving up, this wanting more from life and believing that I can have it, I took it from her and she truly inspires me.
Wonderful. Well said, Manmeet. And now all know that for Manmeet, it is her mom. So look at it, right? Majority said a family member. We have a political figure who is also inspiration. And for many of us, political figures are our source of inspiration, right? But just remember that how we remember them through their act, through their giving back to society, through something, whether it is, as Zubda mentioned, and Manmeet, you mentioned about your mother, right? That how you saw them and how they inspire you, right? So this is what we are going to talk about. Any other this is the last call. Anybody else want to share anything about? Go ahead, Uzma.
So, Sukhjit ji, 2 or 3%. Number one, Baldev ji. He is a legacy. And I really want to be like him. He is my role model.
Mm-hmm.
And second, my daughter, Hania.
Mm-hmm.
She's unstoppable.
She is indeed 100%.
I wish I can be like her. For her, it's not the perfection or things. She wants to do it and she just do it. I wish I can be like her.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. So I don't know, because you mentioned Baldevji's name. If everybody know who Baldevji is, Baldev Makta is a CEO of Punjabi Community Health Services, a very known, famous face. I consider him as my mentor too. He never said no to me. And I think he's mentor to many others. And because I have interacted with Hania, I can tell you that, I don't know how she does it. And I am so proud to see that she's never in doubt. She just do it, whatever, the Nike logo says, just do it. And she keep on doing it. So more power to her. So thank you, Uzma. Thank you so much for saying it. So I will move on with my next slide. We will talk a little bit more about legacy, actually. Like, what exactly is legacy? What is the concept? It's nothing but you all just said now. Either person is living or person is not living. Leaving behind a legacy means making an impact that will last long after you are gone. And that legacy can be financial also. That legacy, why it can be financial? Because if your legacy is feeding the hungry, or if your legacy through your finances is you have made a community center or a hospital, that is a living legacy, right? And legacy is not with those who are not with us. You can actually create legacy while you are alive. And now, if I pick few of the examples, moms are alive, they are legacy. We spoke about organization, they are alive. The prime example is Malton Women Council. It's not that now Malton Women Council and legacy is the same thing to me, right? And it is never too late to start working on building a legacy. And today, like many other sessions, today might be the day when you will give little thought about legacy, how it will play a crucial role, and most importantly, how it will be good for your health. Legacy is not for the news only, but legacy is also good for your health, right? So this is the basic concept of legacy. And most of the time, the examples you have seen here is because of the kindness of people, because of the helping nature of individuals, people leave everlasting impression on us, right? So, and we can talk about family, we can talk about society, we can talk about city or country or the whole universe. So that is the idea of this is the concept, right? So I don't know who wrote it, but legacy is, it's planting seed in a garden you will never get to see most of the time, but sometimes you see. When the organization is flourishing under your wings, you know that it is flourishing, right? But where it will go down the line after a few years, you don't know. And next thing is how to leave a legacy. Like, if it is a thing to do, how you are going to leave a legacy. Simple examples. I'll tell you what I am doing now, and I will also share later on. When I was born, I heard many stories about my family and this and that, whatnot. When I was growing up, I did not pay much attention to it. But the person I turned into now, especially after my move to Canada, I can clearly see that legacy had a direct impact on me because those stories were there in my mind. Remember when, and I'm going to quote, in our families, when we have to give example of someone, a relative, brother, sister, mother, father, like, we always say, look at your uncle, look at your auntie, look at your brother, look at your sister, right? That is also kind of a indication that we are referring to someone whom we consider as their either act or way of living is a legacy, right? But how do you leave a legacy? We are also talking about some practical examples. Nowadays, in the digital world, leaving a legacy is not at all a problem. We are all digital. I am here, I am not here down the line, I don't know how many years, but Malton Women Council's Facebook group will be there, this recording will be there, somewhere it will be, our posters are there, somewhere you are leaving an impact in some form where you will be remembered. In this word, when we are talking about Google will tell most of the things, right? If you just Google name somebody's name, that is also kind of a digital dirt, but you are also leaving a legacy. What I have realized in due time, and what I miss most of the time, where we are missing, because now I see, Uzma, that book came out, right? So somewhere somebody wrote some notes, somebody wrote a story, and that story has been passed along. Most of the time it is verbal, but if it is written, if it is digital, it will stay on. And you know what? Legacy is not only with what we did for the community. I'll give you one more example. Because of COVID, we all are wearing masks, right? When we go out. So there was one mask which was presented to me by someone, but it had a long kind of a piece, and there was a Velcro, and I felt very comfortable wearing it. So in the search of that kind of mask, I reached out to the person who gave me the gift. And through them, I got connected to someone who actually is donating her time to just sitting on the machine and making those different type of masks so that people can easily wear it. So to me, that is also example of leaving a legacy. When she tells me multiple other things along with that small part of mask, I felt what a beautiful example I can share with you. Yes, Uzma.
So I see Malton Women Council as a legacy of Miss Aloka and Anu.
Aloka and Anu, okay.
They are the one, right? And I always see it as legacy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. There are a few more things which I want to say. How many of you have, I'm not sure, in most of the South Asian families, we don't do that. But if you have taken a DNA test, or if you have started working on a family tree, you know, in this country, kids, sometimes teacher give them a task to create a family tree. Actually, I am working on a family tree right now. I'm actually creating a family tree, because that is one way I can point that this is where my lineage comes from, right? So that is also example of legacy. So why it is important? It is important because passing on a positive legacy, if we talk about family, it improves family ties. And just imagine if a healthy family is there, healthy means mentally healthy, connected family, then the society or their small circle will be also positively impacted, right? I'm shifting my thought process to the family, because majority of the examples of legacy comes from family when you are sharing that, right? So passing on, we heard all the good examples of how you remember your brother, your mother, your country's prime minister, or someone else in your life, right? So that is one orbit where we have someone very close to us, right? Now question is, does everyone leave a legacy? Answer is, you do good or you don't good, you still leave a legacy. But the choice is yours. You want to leave a positive or you want to leave a negative legacy, right? I just want to share few things which will give you a little context of what I asked in the beginning, and you know the names of these wonderful faces, from Albert Einstein to Mother Teresa to Martin Luther King or Nelson Mandela or Marie Curie. They all are legends. They all have left a legacy. And you know why. Everybody, starting from Marie Curie on your left, you know the radioactivity, how it is instrumental in the cancer research and curing the cancer. And this gentleman with the tongue sticking out is Albert Einstein, and Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther King. You know, so these are the individuals whom we remember for the good work they have done in the world, to the change which they got into life, also life of others. I have never seen anybody. I only heard. I know that when I was a kid, we heard about Mother Teresa, because she lived in India, right? She ran her charity through India. But rest is all the examples. I remember when Nelson Mandela was freed from the jail, right? And for longest time he was the president of South Africa. Rest is all even prehistory. Prehistory, when I say prehistory, means before me or before my parents also. So these are some examples, and I just wanted to share those. Other thing is, I think I've shared, does a legacy live on? Yes, it does, right? Physically, we may not be there, but our action, our act, or whatever we have done for the world, it is there. Now, Tahiya, I want to appreciate you because you asked a good question. So say for example, I take example of Hitler. Good or bad, I don't know, but he left a legacy. We remember him for a bad legacy, right? But for some, he's still a hero, right? So we are not talking about good and bad, but we are talking about legacy here. But again, as I say, we remember good legacies. We follow the examples of good people who have done good for the entire world, right? So again, ways to build powerful legacy. Like Narendraji, you just shared that beautiful thing you made, right? So for me, if I need inspiration, that will be inspiration. And Dr. Bukhari, when I look at you, any post which comes from Uzma about you, it only tells me the fighter spirit. As I am saying, because I don't know much about your background. Manmeet, I have met you for the first time. But for Rintuji, I have seen her activities through Facebook. But you all have some kind of impact. And we all directly or indirectly get impacted, positive or in a negative way. So, and most of the time we get impacted, we get inspired also by those legacies, right? Mohini ji, I would like to welcome you also. I just see you just joined us. So what exactly is, what are the ways to build powerful legacy? Honestly, one thing is there. I connected with Uzma because she looked to me very joyful when I first met. Because I am also the same kind of people, and you get attracted to that person who is also like you. And that's how our connection started with Uzma. Then when my wife met Uzma, she complimented her beautiful long side dupatta, and then it did not stay with me only, it extended to my family. And then Malton Women Council, her work came, right? So again, this is example I'm giving you. So when I need inspiration, I also look at all of you, right? For those who I'm connected with from quite some time, for those who I'm connecting today, some way there will be an impact. So the first thing to me is people remember happy people, right? We may go through life, and I'm not giving you that you have to be happy. What I'm saying is in general, right? So don't consider me legacy expert, but because I'm coming to my story later on, all this is driving to my story as well, right? Always monitor your impact on others, because I come from a culture where we don't talk about the impact we are having on others. Other will talk about us, but here in North America, if you don't toot your horns, if you don't brag about yourself, how do you measure that you are having an impact on someone else? So I just a few days ago, I posted something and I got a message from somebody who's an international student. I was almost into tears, and I'm thinking, it has been 3 years I have never met you, but I got a message, right? So I know the impact I'm making through my actions, through my work. And there is no harm in actually acknowledging it, appreciating it, and sharing it loud and clear as well, right? In order to actually work on how you can way to build a powerful legacy, make sure you maximize your talents. And I remember Tahaya, and I met her only in the last session. I only remember 2-3 things, but one thing which stand out is cooking. I will never forget that. And same thing I mentioned about Gulnaz. If nothing else comes to my mind, I know if I need to take a trip through Uzma or through directly on Facebook, I'll ask Gulnazi where you are going this summer or where did you go this summer, right? So though it may look very small thing, but you don't know the impact you are having on others. Because Narendraji, you showed the hand knit sweater, the one beautiful which you are wearing now. This is your strength. This is your talent. These are your skills. Make sure you know your skills, and we all are blessed with multiple skills. I have actually twisted the quote, the famous quote which says, "Jack of all, master of none." But I removed none and I said, Jack of all, master of some. We are not master of one, but we are masters of multiple traits. So make sure on this earth, as a living being, you are talented, you have strengths, and you have skills. Make sure that you know those skills, because those are the skills which will help you to leave a legacy. Legacy can be a conscious effort that you are doing something consciously, which I am doing. I will demonstrate how it is, but also something which you are just doing because of the sheer love you get from it, right? And I know, Dr. Bukhari, in your time, it is just do the work, God will give you that fruit. But in our word, and in this word is, you do your best, tell the word you are doing it, then the fruit will come, right? I know time has changed, but that's how it is. And do what matters now, right? Like, prime example again, Malton Women Council, bringing you all together. And you, from your busy life as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a grandmom, you're sitting here attending this session. It warms my heart that how do you do it? And then I go to the next level, which acts as inspiration for me. If you can do it, why I should deny? Why I should say no? Because I know some benefit will come, right? And always remember, this is what I have learned. Even a smallest opportunity, seize that opportunity. You never know where that opportunity will take you. In my career, when I started working in non-profit, somebody whom, by the way, I don't admire at all, I don't remember anything else but one thing. She told me early in my career, she was my colleague, Sukhjit, never say no to anything in Canada, especially. If I don't remember anything, and if I 99% don't want to remember, but I always acknowledge this, that she told me that, and I actually never said no. And where my life is today is because of her, because she just gave me one mantra, and I just blindly follow that, right? So any small opportunity, seize that, see how you can contribute, and some fruit will come. And honestly, you know what? I think the success of Malton Women Council is because you work with the closest people you know. You work with those who are closest to Malton Women Council. To me, if you guys are successful, you are successful because you have a very strong, closest bond with your own family. Your own family is Tahiya, Mohini ji, Narendra ji, and all of those who have joined today, because you are constantly showing up, you are constantly contributing, you are constantly present, which itself is leaving a legacy. And also, and I don't doubt about it, bring the best, because in some way you are the best. Whatever you are best at, bring the best. And I have seen at your events that how Malton Women Council members bring out the best in themselves, right? So now we are coming at a very interesting, juncture. What is a professional legacy? And professional legacy, if you shift all that from personal to professional, professor, doctor, politician, and Tahiya, for your example, I will say Prime Minister Imran Khan is a professional legacy for the world, but maybe for some in his own family circle, he's also a hero. I don't know about how much your family is close to them, but the thing is, there are some world-renowned famous faces like prime ministers of countries.
Tomorrow हो नहीं सकता क्योंकि अभी 28 है.
Sorry. Oh, it was, I think, by mistake. Anyway, so professional legacy is again I can tell you another example. When I taught in that university, I'm still in touch with those who graduated when I was there. And my legacy, because I know if I go back to that country just for a visit, I need to just leave one message that I'm visiting that country, and I know how many will show up. Till date, I'm very proud that I taught in the beautiful country of Oman, right? But that is my professional legacy. And we are now at this point where we are doing two things: living a legacy or leaving a legacy, right? So I don't know if you want to take a break, but I would like to welcome, I see Serene Qureshi's face. So welcome here, Serene. Anybody who joined us, I think in that way.
Thank you.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask you if you want to break or you want me to carry on.
Carry on.
Carry on. Give me thumbs up if you want me to carry on, or if you want to grab a glass of water. Okay, done. I promise I'll finish on time. Thank you so much. I want my legacy to be that I cared about, right? And when I was actually working on my presentation, this thought came to me that actually, and through this graphics, I'll tell you, when you live a legacy, leaving a legacy is not a problem. Simple. And if you have not thought about it, I am giving you some food for thought that you might are doing something already, but you may not be in that mode that is it considered legacy. But I tell you one thing, one act of kindness, constant act of kindness, continuous act of kindness and telling the world that that is that act of kindness, because you don't need to tell, it will automatically go out. And that's how you're already building a legacy. And I also want to share another thing. See, this is what I love about this book. I have shared this, if you know what I'm talking about. They say, I did not believe in this book till I came to Canada. This book was released in, I think, 2007 or 8. And in that university, everybody was carrying the book and talking about secret. I said, no, it does not exist. But in Canada, one incident changed my life. So believe it or not, the thought which you are looking at it now, it came when I was working on this presentation. And because I was part of, in my introduction, Gaya mentioned about the Interfaith Council. And at Interfaith Council, I meet different people from, now I'm not active member of the council, but I'm still part of it, right? I meet different kind of individuals from different faith. And there was one book which was presented to me by Buddhist temple. And look at what it says. And because the title of the book is, in a year, there are 365 days. So there is one chapter for every day, but they have added 366 days. So I was in one of the chapter, it says the value of our lives depend on how we develop and present our lives to others. It is the best to project our value while we are still alive. We may still be considered valuable even after death if we could at least make ourselves very useful then. If we are like the rotten grass and wood, which can only be used as fertilizer, then our life has very limited value. So I thought, why not to share with you, because living and leaving a legacy is not far apart. If you are actually working hard with kindness, you are already leaving a legacy. And in this one line, it will tell you, carve your name on hearts, not on tombstone, because that is how you will leave a legacy. This is how I believe that at Malton Women Council, those members who have joined, in some way or other, you are leaving an everlasting impression on others' life, right? So here it is the second activity. Now, this activity is interesting. I want you to write, but if it is not written, you can talk. But if you write, then it will come very fine. We have spoken about legacy. You can take 1 or 2 minutes, go grab a pen, because what you're going to write in next 2-3 minutes, I will tell you what to write also, right? It will help you. If you want to put that in chat, feel free. But only instruction before you start is do not think. Do not think. But okay, let me tell you what you need to write, right? You have 2 to 3 minutes. You will be typing without thinking. Just write anything. And in writing, you just think about who you are, why you are here, what you are doing in terms of what makes you feel important. So the bottom line is, just go with the flow. What are those things which makes you feel important? It is why you are important. Just write. Just write. You will be amazed to see, it can be materialistic thing. It can be water bottle. It can be anything. It can be cat. It can be dog or whatever it is, right? But think about only this, nothing else. And just write freely. 2-3 minutes, and then we take it from there. And what I will do, I am just skip. Okay, good. Keep writing. I will keep talking. If you have a question, ask me.
Sukhjit, Tahiyya is asking to repeat it, please.
Okay, so Tahiyya, what you need to do is, you don't need to think when you are going to write what I'm going to ask. Why you are important. Just why you are important. Okay. And why you're important means, I'm not saying what is your value and all, but to you, why you are important, right? It should come up like a mission statement. It should come up like something that I am, okay, you got thumbs up, that's it. And don't worry about, how it will sound and all, just write. But you need to be selfish now, because this is one exercise which will help me to give you some ideas on how you can actually start working on legacy. You have already developed something, but it will help me. Just get your thought on paper, that's it. Or if you're not typing, if you want to say it, you're more than welcome to unmute and say it. Okay. Anybody want to unmute and say something? Anybody is ready? I wanted to write also with you, but then I thought no. Mohini ji, please go ahead.
Okay. I'm writing here, I'm thinking about Malton Long Care Center. For a long time, I went there and participated for feeding those people and consoling them and telling them stories and celebrating different functions, important functions to make them happy. To just give them company because they miss their families. And I was one, twice a week, I used to go there to spend 2-3 hours each day.
Can I stop you here?
Huh.
I remember you from the same story. And this is how you are passionate about one cause, which is to do something about what you really care about, how you feel passionate. If I may ask you a direct question, what do you want to do for them? Or not you, or what if you have $10 million, what do you want to do for them?
Well, I'll donate some. I did donations, like I probably you have read that I have done singing in different temples.
But right now, what you are writing, sorry I interrupted your thought, but what you are writing and where you are leading, my question to you is, if $10 million is to you, what you will do?
I'll donate some of it, maybe half of it.
To the cause?
The rest for my own self. I don't know how long I'm going to live. Right now, I live by myself and I look after myself and I spend all the expenditure is on me. I'm not asking anybody to give me money to feed me, to take me there and buy me some clothes or anything.
Honest answer, Mohini ji. My question, just Narendra ji, I'll come to you. My question is, you started by thinking about that long-term care, right?
Yes.
Because it is very close to your heart. So,
after retirement, that's what I did in my free time, because I have taught for 35 years in Canada.
Wonderful, wonderful.
And after retirement, I started that, spending the time.
Okay, my last question to you, how you want to be remembered?
To go back there again and start doing the same thing. Because of COVID, for the last 2 years, I never went, but I did talk to them on the FaceTime.
And this gives you joy.
Yes.
This gives you joy. This gives you a pleasure. This gives you happiness, right?
That's right.
Wonderful. So, okay. Narendra ji, thank you, Mohini ji. Narendra ji, you go next.
Actually, I was born, I want to tell you about myself. I was born fourth daughter to my parents. And this was not the reason that my parents were poor. My father was on very good job, and we were all enjoying. But I have always a desire that I will become something, and determined. And studied a lot during school, college time. I used to stand first always. And then after graduation, I was married. After that, I did 3 MAs, B.Ed and an M.Ed. And I did a job in army school. I was so like, I can't tell you by the...
Can I interrupt you, Narendraji? What did you write actually?
I wrote very less, I told you.
You tell us what you wrote.
I wrote that whatever I want to be, I became. And my first duty is to help others. I always help others. There are so many incidents that I can't write here just now. I can make a book. And in house, if one day I am absent, my house will shatter.
Okay.
They need me so much. And I can say I am made for others, not for myself.
Just stop there. Made for others. Wonderful. Just stop there. Gulnaz, you have your hand up.
Yes. First, I used to feel important as a mother when my kids were young, and I helped them to take them to the library, to swimming pool, and to go with them on their school trips. But when they were in middle school, I was feeling like I am losing my importance, and I'm feeling that I am useless, and things were in my mind because I was not giving much time as the kids were independent, because they were in middle school and they have library, they go by themselves sometimes, and in the swimming they were a good swimmer and they were past all the levels. So
can I interrupt you, Gulnazji? Gulnazji,
yep.
Did you write something also?
Yes, as a mother, I used to feel that I am important.
Okay.
And
did you write something which is present feeling, which is present related to what I asked?
Yeah. Now I feel when I connected with MWC, and I connected with many people through MWC, and I was working with seniors and with South Asian women, and when I get the message and the calls from them, and I help them and support them in any way, then I feel very proud.
You feel that you are an integral part of Malta Women Council, right?
Yes.
That sense of belonging is there, sense of achievement is there, and then sense of satisfaction is there. And that might be reflecting in you every single day. Your family can see it, your friends can see it, right?
Yep.
Okay, good. Thank you, Gulnaz. So the sequence is Rintuji, then Serene, then Manmeet, then Sukhjit. Unmute, Rintu, please.
जी ਮੇਰੀ ਸੇਮ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਲਾਸਟ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਖਿਆਲ ਸੇਮ ਵਰਜ਼ਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਰਿੰਟੂ ਪਾਟਿਆ ਮੈਂ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਆ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮੋਰਲ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਬਟ ਮੋਸਟ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਇੱਕ ਡ੍ਰੀਮ ਕਹਿ ਲਓ ਜਾਂ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਹੈ ਮਾਲਟਨ ਵੂਮਨ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਕਨਸਰਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਨੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੋਨੀ ਦੀਦੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਗਰ 10 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਮਿਲਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰੋਗੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਮਾਲਟਨ ਵੂਮਨ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਦੀ ਖਾਹਿਸ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਘਰ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਚਾਹਨੀ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਨਸਰਟ ਹੋਵੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਡੋਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹ ਮੈਂ ਮਾਲਟਨ ਵੂਮਨ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਨੂੰ ਡੋਨੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਨੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ
beautiful thought but I will ask a very selfish question.
जी
Why you want to do it?
Because they love me. Maltara Movement Council loves me.
There you go. So now just wait. So what Rintu mentioned is because she loves singing, she is passionate about singing,
Yes.
and she is so much involved in family, but also with Malton Women Council. Her dream is that using Malton Women Council, there should be a concert, and all the donation which comes goes back to Malton Women Council so that Malton Women Council can achieve the dream of having a dream home of Malton Women Council.
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you, Rintu. Thank you so much. Srinji, please go ahead.
Yes, I wrote, I am independent. I have always challenged the status quo in my family. I am the voice that has never been heard before. I even feel I was too late because I have only helped those who were after me, and before me, I couldn't help those people, but those generations that came after me, especially of women in the family, have benefited from my experience.
Beautiful. I have a question, Serene. Are you regular at Malton Women Council, or you join those regularly?
I just joined some of the meetings, so
Some
I
of
am
the
part
meetings.
of with them on Facebook and stuff like that. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah, I definitely do like the group, and I enjoy the activities as well. So
Wonderful, wonderful. So can you wrap it up in one line? You just shared with us.
wrap it up in one line.
Okay. So you said, can you repeat again? Okay. Can you say it again, what you wrote?
That I am independent and like to challenge the status quo.
Challenge the status quo,
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you are challenging it. I'm pretty sure it is impacting, positive impact. First of all, impacting you in a positive way. And also it has trickled down to those who are near you. Wonderful. Thank you. I see Sukhjit ji's your hand up. You can go next. But I see Pia Dheer also. I don't know when Pia Dheer came in, but Sukhjit ji, you go ahead, then Pia Dheer.
Hanji Sukhjit ji, I write on a star that came in my mind. Yeah, like I'm unable to show my face today.
No problem. Just speak and share what you wrote.
Yeah, I just write on a star.
I am star, right?
Yeah.
So the star is not the star, but the star which is in the sky.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. Pia Dheer, first of all, welcome. I don't know. I did not see, but when you came in, yeah, go ahead.
Hello, sir. So I would like to share my thoughts.
Did you actually write something, or you just joined us late?
No, I joined late because I was.
No, that's fine. But did you get the idea of what we are doing, the activity in terms of that?
Yes.
I don't know whether it. Okay, you got it. You were at the right moment. And
I
Manmeet, my
did
apologies.
catch a little bit.
Sorry, Manmeet, my apologies if I did not see your hand up before Pia, but okay, good. So Pia, you go ahead.
So I used to think that, as a mother, that I feel important just because I'm mother to my kids. But now, since they are grown up, I feel like I think I have a lot more to do in life. I have a bigger purpose. I would like,
Were you able to identify the purpose?
Identify in the sense I would like to give back to the community. I just started, I connected with Asma ji, and I just started with Malton
Women
Women's
Council. Wonderful.
I have been following you for a long time on Instagram.
Who?
Because I saw you do so much for community. So that's why
you're following me on Instagram?
Yes, sorry? Yes.
Oh my God.
Sukh for a change. Am I right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yes. So I came across your profile. So I was impressed by you. But when I saw that they were bringing you on, I was like, I have to attend this session. So I admire what you do. And I
Thank you.
would love if I can do even a fraction of what Asma does, what you do, like where we give back to people who actually, need, and we are open where people can ask us for help.
There you go. I want to stop you right now. You look at what Pia just mentioned. It is not about she following me, but look at the impact in terms of she's ready now, right? So the fact that it is not that kids are grown up, that's why she wanted to give back, because for everything there is a time, and when your right time comes, the right resources will come to your life. And I'm so glad you are connected with Malton Women Council. I can only tell, I'm not regularly attending all the events, but I can only see that how this chain is getting bigger and bigger. And the baseline of MWC is, again, it is a legacy. It is building a legacy, but it is also inviting other legacy to join them, so that the legacy can grow to extent that it become a living legend kind of thing. So sorry, Pia, you said it wonderfully, beautifully well, though you joined late. But thank you for your input, and thanks for following me also. I don't know. I mean, thank you so much.
I will be very obliged if we ever meet one day. I'm pretty sure when everything opens up.
As soon as Malton Women Council announces their first in-person event, I will be sitting on the stage. Though they don't invite me, I will be on the stage. So thank you, Pia. Thank you. Manmeet, Uzma, sorry. Uzma, you go, and then Manmeet.
I just want to comment one thing here. I don't know about when Malton Women Council will meet in person, but hopefully May 28th, there will be my book launch, and I invite everyone.
Okay. It is already on my calendar. Thank you. May 28th.
Yes.
Thank you. Manmeet, you go ahead.
Yeah. The question underwent a lot of changes. So I have almost filled up 2 pages. I'll try to speak as less as possible.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think in a nutshell, I would say that I took many years to discover that being myself is the biggest joy and the biggest freedom. And this is what I want to pass on to others.
Can I stop you here? I am seeing you for the first time, and I think you are living a legacy, because when you're talking and when you're expressing it, to me, you're already there. So kudos to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I like to believe that, Sukhjit, and being yourself means you are a happier person, you are an empathetic person, you invite honesty into your life. And I think that's the only solution which can lead, and a happy individual can build a happy home can build a happy community, and a happy community can build a happy world. That's what my belief is, and I want to do everything to pass on this, whatever little secret I would say, or little joy I have found, this abundance of nature. And I also want to take this opportunity to say that we make so much effort to feel important. The very fact that we are on earth, we are important. Like a flower doesn't have to make an effort. I want that we all live an effortless life by just being ourselves. And this is the joy I want to experience, and I can't do it alone. That's why I'm with such beautiful people today.
I will give, sorry to interrupt you, you may have more to share, but I'll give you one tip right now. Say it again, what you said about that in the beginning, you said something about a quote kind of a thing that I want to put it out.
Yeah, I'm saying I took many years to discover that being myself, being yourself is the biggest joy and freedom. And I want to pass on this to everyone.
But then you said something.
I can read out.
Please go ahead, read.
I took many years to discover that the biggest joy and freedom is in being yourself. And I want to help others discover this. Only a happy individual can invite honesty and empathy.
Wait here. So the first part, put that in a quote, put it out on Facebook. The second part, put that in a quote, put your name and put it out on the Facebook. you will know the impact. This is the power of the words which we every day think, but we don't put it out. I learned through my mentors and advisors that Sukhjit, and you know what? I think 20 times to put it out. You know why? It will be a silly reason. I know we are alive, but I don't have any shame to say it because English is not my first language. I'm worried about spelling mistake. I'm worried about grammar. Though from last 22 years, I've been speaking English. But what I'm saying is, Manmeet, put it out. Don't just only think and put it somewhere where it is closed and kept it somewhere. Put it out. You will see the difference right away, because when you are thinking, you are aligned with the frequency of many others who are also thinking what they want to read, right? The first step in, and maybe you are already doing it. Maybe I don't see it. Maybe you have already done it. But you said
I've already done it.
beautifully
Yeah.
well with conviction that it inspired me instantly. The first part is one quote, the second part is another quote. Though many people have said it before, but that does not matter because this is your version of it, right? So if you have anything to say, please finish it, then we'll move on to the next slide.
Nice. I was just telling Sukhjit ji, I think I'm long past that stage in my life. I put it out everywhere I can. I don't hesitate. I talk to people. As you said, oh, meko tuti bajana nahi lagta. Mujhe wo lagta hai, it needs to be talked. It needs to spread. It needs to spread like virus. So I talk about it. So
wonderful.
Thank you.
So thank you, everyone. I don't see anybody's hand up, and I do see some new names. Farha, welcome. Harjeet, welcome. I don't want to miss anything, so I think I have mentioned everybody's name. We are done with that activity. Now I'm going to the slide where we will talk about how my story comes into the picture. So I wanted to share something with you. And this is the first time I'm sharing this. And it actually warms my heart because while I'm working on my second book, I'm talking to everyone who's directly involved in that book. And look at this picture. Just give it 2 or 3 minutes, nothing more than that. So this is a gentleman who is my grandfather. And the same gentleman is right here. And same gentleman is right here. And this picture, can you see my pointer? So you see what is in the background? What do you see in the background, right? A shaky, broken kind of kabutra dalana, or it is actually pigeonhole. It is actually where they used to keep pigeons, right? Now, this is my grandfather, elder brother. And this is the family. I think there are 4 brothers here. This is my grandfather. This is the picture which they have removed from here and put it here. This is my grandfather, younger brother. I know him because I saw him. I felt his touch. This is my grandfather, elder brother. And these are 2 sisters. And this is my grandfather's youngest brother. And I remember all that. And there you see my father here, his brother, his youngest brother, and eldest brother. So my story is, when I was growing up, I grew up in a village. When I was growing up, every day, somebody will come to our house with something to give and always touch my head and bless me, and they will leave. I did not realize until I came to at a certain age that, because then you can differentiate difference. I always remember those who touched my head, blessed me, they came and they said stories after stories about my grandfather. They were never dressed up. And if I may say, there was no hygiene, or they were poorly dressed. malnourished, but whenever they came to our house, there was a happiness. And when I grew up a little bit more, there was always a story about my grandfather and his family. And I did not realize until I really grew up that I am grandson of a refugee who came to this part of India, undivided India, from Lahore. And that part was not discussed, but majority of the part which was discussed and shared with us was what he did in the village where he decided to stay. He decided to bring up his family. And remember, when they came, my grandmother was not with them because she passed away long before the partition happened. So it was including my dad, 4 total brothers, 2 sisters, and 1 briefcase and 1 sack of something, because he got extended family on this side. Coming back to stories were like, oh, your grandfather was so quiet. He did this, he did that, he did this. Village had unelected in a village which was not his village of birth. Like he was not born there. And again, difference between them and us became more clear because he helped those who were not in position to help themselves. Either their financial literacy or helping them with the land, helping them with the farming, or whatever their cases or issues are. Because when I grew up, I also saw the same neighborhood, the poor neighborhood, people will come to my dad and mom asking them to resolve the dispute, the family dispute. And what will surprise you next will be amazing to see. So this is a bit about my background. Now, when I'm working on my second book, and this book is on leadership, I got to know many facts. And actually, I got a picture from Lahore College of 1932, where my grandfather is sitting with known prominent faces of undivided India, which we call it now India and Pakistan. It warms my heart because what I do now is direct effect of those stories which I kept listening to them, but I did not realize that what clan I belong to. Now, beauty of this is my father did not stop, my mother did not stop, because it is from my father's side. My mother also joined, and the legacy did not stop there. The legacy is to this point now that now this picture is one day before we boarded the flight to Canada. Now imagine, these are not my brothers and sister, but these are more than that. Here is my mom, here is my mother-in-law, here is my mother-in-law's, my wife's aunt. This is my daughter, my dad, me, and my father-in-law. So how legacy work? My grandfather, in that poor neighborhood where he relocated his family, and he belonged to a caste. Gaya introduced me with my full name, Aluwalia. And in our village, still the scenario is the disparity. So my mom and dad, what they did is, these kids will come right after my mom and dad will come from work. They will sit in our house. They will open their books. They will stay in our house like 8, 9, 10 o'clock. They become household family member. And this is, I don't have many pictures, but my promise, next trip, I'm bringing all those pictures, right? So remember, other than my in-laws, who was there to send us off, not other family member and friend, they became our family, not from only my grandfather's time, but at this moment also, they are our immediate family. And this is 2009. And guess what? When we made our first trip back to India, who was there to welcome? You can see the bags. You can see these kids in winter, they were studying. So they were right there. Not only that, why does it matter to me? And why still in my own village that our family is known as a different family? Because those who are not welcomed in other households, they are welcome in our household. I call them family, my sister, now my wife, now my daughter. That is their family. I don't take gift for anyone else, but I do take gift for them because they are our family. Now, from where I got this is again going back to the picture I showed, because all those stories kept in my head. I am in position to demonstrate to the world that this is how it happened. My father never even mentioned that, because that is their humbleness. Now, this is another interesting picture. From the same year, we went to India. Just give me 1 second. I think I skipped too fast, or something is lagging. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. So this is the picture. This is my daughter. This is the same year we made our first trip, because that was a Christmas time, and it is a time when my wife also celebrates her birthday. Guess who was our special guest? All these kids. Every single special moment in my household in India is celebrated with these kids. My daughter grew up with them whenever she visited India. They made more trip to India than me, but it was always them, these kids, and this is how that legacy, which I got it from my grandfather, he got it from his father, and I got it not only from my grandfather, from my father and mother, because they decided to carry on. And how I'm doing it in Canada is, some of you already know, and to some I want to just, I don't know, for some reason my slides are very, very slow. Just give me 1 second. My apologies. Let me see what is happening, because can your IT support stop this? And I want to restart this just for a minute, if possible. Uzma?
Stop what?
The presentation, just because I want to open it again.
Okay.
Or I can do it. Just give me
Yeah,
1 second.
You're sharing the screen. You can.
I'm sharing the screen, but I do know that. Okay, hold on. Okay, disconnected. You see, this is the magic. I know why it is giving you that. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, you can take help from the other Sukhjit. He's there.
I am inviting my brother now, but he is very angry because I did not invite him in the beginning. Right. So maybe.
Meanwhile, let me welcome.
There you go.
Mindaji.
I think I am good now. Can you see? Can you see the slide? But
yes,
but
we can.
Is it only the slide, or you see yourself also? I think, just give me 1 second.
I can see myself as well.
No. That was wrong. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. Now it should be fine. Yes or no?
Yes.
It's the same way that came before.
But you don't see your picture, right?
We do see our pictures.
No, that I don't want. Hold on. I think this
depends on the setting as well.
No, just I got it. Just give me 1 second. Extended.
Sukhjit ji, you will have to arrange your settings in a way where we will not be visible.
Done. I think now it is good.
It's the same.
But you don't see yourself now, right?
Yes,
no, we do.
We do.
We do.
No.
Oh, that's fun. My goodness. My apologies, but it will not take that long. I know.
That's okay.
I know. Because there are interesting pictures. I don't want to miss them. So that... because my laptop, it is extended. Yes. It should work in the extended mode. And that is the reason. Anyway. Yes, there you go. Okay. So I was explaining, sharing the pictures, and I was sharing the legacy. You see, she's cutting cake. These kids are happy. And now the responsibility is not only to carry on that in India, but now this is my home. So my story, my story and journey is actually part of Toronto Public Library forever. It is going to be there until they demolish the library, but they promise that it will never happen. It will be there at Toronto Public Library. I like Uzma. Now, when you write a book, it says as a legacy. So I wrote my book, my journey. I also sat on red couch. So remember when Canada was celebrating 150th birthday, it was a special moment. And I was actually invited to sit on the red couch. And it traveled from east to west coast, where prominent 30 Canadians sat and shared their stories. So I had honor to sit on that red couch. And I was actually first time that in Canada something came free to me, which is that I did not pay to go to CN Towers. They invited me, so I was on the top floor of CN Tower. I'm giving you some ideas. Some ideas may click to you. Some idea will be new to you. Some idea will be you have already done it. I believe coming on the national TV, because I am very fortunate that I'm one of the thousands of immigrants who come to Canada, but I'm very fortunate that I got opportunity where my story was featured on CBC national TV at prime time. So that was there. I did not stop there. I became founder of Success and Innovation, because legacy lives on when you do something which will be a chain reaction. So to me, that chain reaction is important. It is exactly like how Modern Women Council is doing. So other picture you see is because I have many whom I mentored, and this beautiful portrait of our Mississauga mayor was made by one of my mentee, and it was her dream that she wanted to present, and she did not know how to reach out to Mississauga mayor. So I helped her. For me, it is some kind of legacy which she will remember. Mayor, I'm not pretty sure, because they are busy people, but the portrait is with her. It is her picture. But for me, it is important that my mentee got an opportunity to meet the mayor, and she happily accepted that, and she spent some time and where my mentee was able to explain something. Interesting enough, I was never a good student. Good student means my two sisters, they are all shining high in academics. I was the one who was okay. This is me. And I don't know which grade, but I know it is grade 4 or 5. It can't be less or more. This is me. It is my school. This guy is now chief medical officer in my city. This guy is a top-notch IT professional. This is a super mom. Actually, we had always had a fight. This is our maths teacher. Now, to me, the legacy is when my school put this picture right in front of my school, I think last year. And I did not stop there. Now, the interesting part is that is not only me, but remember, when you have the power, and I strongly believe you all have power. And Serene, I'm looking at you, the way you have mentioned about how you feel, right? And Manmeet, you mentioned about that beautiful story you just wrote, right? And same for Rintu, you want to sing, same for Tahiya, same for everyone, right? So I want to share interesting story, though it is again a public platform, but I am not going to shy away by sharing this. Legacy does not mean that you do ABC and put a picture. This is a small story. So when I bought my first home, I saw in that neighborhood, nobody was talking to your neighbor. They had multiple things going on, but I did not see smiling face. And there was one opportunity which I can't share for some legal reasons, but there was one opportunity for me to bring everybody together. And I'm so glad that I worked hard. People started joining me, and this is a regular occurrence. This is another year, but this picture and this picture is a first ever get together of 80 households. Some of them are living in the same houses from the day they build the houses. But they were so surprised that nothing like that happened before. How come you are the one who made us come together. And believe it or not, though I left the community,
Excuse me, can I ask what place did you move into?
It's Mississauga.
Mississauga where?
Mississauga, right?
No, I live in Mississauga, but this is happening. They're renovating and house is going like crazy. So I wanted to know, where did you go to see those kind of neighborhood?
Oh, that was my first home, by the way, which 2015 I bought.
But where was it? Mississauga is a big place.
I will tell you again, because I told you the story is connected with some legal thing. That's why I don't want to share publicly, right?
Okay.
So, but the thing is, this neighborhood is now knitted in a beautiful sweater like Narendraji knitted for herself. A beautiful, kind of ornament where people from all walk of life. We have now one of the most bubbling community within Mississauga. We talk to each other, people smile at each other, we take care of each other. That was my biggest accomplishment, because I knew nobody when I moved into that neighborhood, and I knew the challenge which we faced and how to overcome that challenge is because it was my willpower plus willpower of those who were like me. It was only matter of time that I needed to identify them, bring it on board, and boom. So every year we meet in summer, we have barbecue, we meet, we have fun. I mean, this is the prime example for me that I became part of this family, this neighborhood. I got one opportunity where I could bring everybody together, and I did it not once, but it became a regular practice. So when I was thinking about legacy, I also thought, because now they call me for any help, and I am in a position to help them. So that is a very proud moment for me. And this poster was made by my daughter. You look at her, she is sitting right there. Last but not the least, because I want to give some time, it is almost 7 minutes left for 2 hours. But last few minutes, I want to open the floor. I want to listen from you. I will share this resource if, Uzma, you want, because not the whole presentation, but this is the best link I could get. I will also mention other resources. In nutshell, if I want to wrap it up, I will say prioritize people over results. Don't worry about the results. It may not show right away. It may show later on, or it may never show when you are there, but it will have some impact. Invest your time and money. Money does not mean dollar money, but when you invest your time, you're already investing your money. Connect in person. Most important thing. It is virtual world, but today I connected with Manmeet. I connected with Serene. I know Pia came for the first time because I'm already connected with the rest of the group, including Tahiya, Mohini ji, Gulnaz ji, Raminder, Zubda, Dr. Bukhari, and also with few others, and Sukhjit ji, because I can only see a few names, so that's how, right? It's very important, because in this world, virtual world, what you see is not what exactly is. Let me tell you one thing, and if Pia is listening to this, I now, not in the beginning when social media came, I believed in everything, but now I don't believe in everything until I taste it, until I see it, until I meet them. And it is a real surprise for me. And now I know that social media is not helping the world. It is actually separating the world, right? But I'm not here to judge social media because I'm a big fan of social media. You will find me everywhere. Sorry? Anyway, so control less, empower more. It is about empowerment. I think, Manmeet, you also mentioned, and I am looking forward, and please forward that code to Malton Women Council. The story you wrote and the second code I said, I want to see that. Model behavior you want to last. What is that model behavior? And I picked these resources from some websites. I'm going to share those with Anu and Uzma. So just to wrap up, because it is living versus leaving, because that was something in my mind. Shall I talk only about leaving a legacy or living a legacy also? So it is by John Glenn. I'm not interested in my legacy. I made up a word, live AC. I am more interested in living. So with that, I would like to thank you for joining me today. And these are the resources. I will share these and other resources with you through Uzma. So please bear with me. And I also want to acknowledge that these slides which I have used, let me go to that acknowledgement. I used Slide Mania. And they do have beautiful templates, so if ever you need it. And thank you. You know, my website, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn is all up. And here we go. Now I can stop sharing the screen, and please, if somebody can actually again help me in stopping, because I have two screens. If I click something may go wrong. So from your end, if you can stop, Parminderji. So now floor is yours. We have, I know it is 2 hours, 15 minutes. We have actually 15, Uzma-ji, correct me, 10 minutes or 5 minutes or how much? Because I want to have last conversation under this presentation, that what is your take? Did it change something? Did it impact directly, indirectly? Or did you get a seed where it is growing into a thought and then something will come up, right? Go ahead, Uzma-ji.
Sukhjit, can you just stop sharing, because he's away right now?
No worries. I will stop sharing. There you go. Did it stop?
Yes.
Okay.
I request you to stay a little longer because everybody wants to share something.
Okay, I am here. I'm here. So let me.
I know it's Friday. It's your chicken day. Yeah. And,
chicken shawarma day. Oh no, Harjap is aware. Harjap is aware. So it is chicken shawarma day. Don't worry about it. But I want to first. I think Pia, you raised your hand. But let me read a comment. Harjeet Bamra. It was a great session on legacy. I would like to follow the legacy of free word, please. Sorry and thank you. We are talking about others' response and vibes, forgetting what we are giving out. Wonderful. Okay, Pia, you go ahead. You're on mute.
Yes, there we go. You know, I wanted to share this. I follow Manmeet ji on Instagram as well. Her Instagram is, I think, Amina Sto. Is that what you, right? So I'm so impressed. She is living the life that, you know, we all think of living. I love how much peace and how much patience she has on her face. I think at one time I used to be like that, but then life, you know, comes in between, and you know, and I'm so impressed by Uzma ji. She is handling such a big operation, and still she finds time when I nag her to call me. So I'm so impressed with this whole operation and all these women. I don't know all of them, but whoever I have shortly in this short time period I have met and I have seen, I admire them, and I would love that we meet one time and we all know each other, not only through the screen, but in actually like one-to-one, one-on-one, we meet each other.
Wonderful, beautiful.
Yes.
Pia, if you want to leave something for us to remember, what that would be? Very shortly. And I'm going to ask this question to everyone, okay?
You know, this is the exercise we did with Manmeet a few weeks back. I will smile back at you even if you don't smile at me.
Beautiful. Thank you, Pia. Thank you so much. Tahiya, please go ahead, ji.
मैं बस यही कहना चाहती हूँ सुखजीत जी कि हमेशा आपका जो हमारा साथ होता है वर्कशॉप में, वो हमेशा इतना वंडरफुल होता है कि मैं चाहते हुए भी छोड़ के नहीं जा पाती. राइट नाउ अभी हमारी नमाज का टाइम हो गया था, फिर हमारे रमज़ान शुरू हो रहे हैं, तो जो माशाल्लाह यहाँ पर मुस्लिम लोग बैठे हुए हैं, मैं उनको सबको रमज़ान मुबारक कहती हूँ.
रमज़ान करीम जी.
कल से हमारे शुरू हो जाएंगे इंशाल्लाह.
कल से है रमज़ान?
कल से हैं.
वंडरफुल.
तो बस यही मैं आपको कहना चाह रही थी, और मेरा जो लास्ट वर्ड है वो यही है कि शेयरिंग इज केयरिंग फ्रॉम माय साइड.
ब्यूटीफुल.
तो जब भी हम कम्युनिटी में रहते हैं, कोई काम कर रहे होते हैं, जो लेगेसी हम छोड़कर जाएंगे वो इन्हीं कामों की वजह से है. और थैंक्स टू MWC, उज़मा, अनु, अलोका जी, ये सारे हमारी स्ट्रेंथ है, इंस्पिरेशन है हमारी. उज़मा आलूका जी ही मुझे इस MWC से उन्होंने मुझे इंट्रोड्यूस कराया, और आज जो भी कुछ हम कर रहे होते हैं MWC के लिए या लोगों के लिए, वो सब आप जैसे लोगों की इंस्पिरेशन और मोटिवेशन ही होती है. सो थैंक यू सो मच फॉर अ वंडरफुल सेशन. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर बीइंग हियर. और मैं अब थोड़ी जल्दी से इजाजत लेना चाहूंगी क्योंकि मुझे नमाज पढ़ने जाना है. तो थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन. Bye.
Sure. Go ahead, Tahiya ji. Thank you so much. And Ramadan Kareem to you, your family, and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Tahiya. Who's next? Who is next? Who raised her hand? Okay. So I'm going to call the names because you're not raising hand. On my screen, I see Manmeet on my left.
I can only say, Sukhjit ji, lots of validation today on the path I want to walk. This was a really beautiful session, and even more gratitude for having met Uzma. I mean, met in the sense, abhi tak hum gale nahi mile hain, lekin virtually mil chuke hain. And met all these beautiful people here. मेरी किस्मत इतनी अच्छी कि मैं इन लोगों से मिल गई जैसे मतलब मैं इन्हें ढूंढ रही थी. And I'm looking for walking on this path, and trust me, इतने लोगों से मैं मिल रही हूँ, लेकिन उज़मा is one person जिसने कभी मेरा प्रोफाइल नहीं मांगा, मुझसे पूछा नहीं, what can you do, Manmeet? She just blindly had faith on me. I mean, आपने अभी कहा ना, trust the deeds than the words. I think उज़मा की ये बात मुझे हमेशा याद रहेगी. और आपने अभी जो लास्ट में बोला empower more, control less, I think somewhere I also tend to control. So I am also having that self-reflection that how I can take a plunge like this for people, for the people I work with, operate out of trust that yes, they can lead themselves. So I'm like totally flushing with gratitude, and I already see, I'm so grateful that I attended the session today. Loads of validation, loads of encouragement on my lap, in my heart right now.
Thank you, Manmeet. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. If you see my eyes are moving, which means my screen is a bit bigger. So don't think that I'm deviating from what you are saying. Thank you so much, Manmeet. And I have Rintu ji. Rintu ji, go ahead.
जी सुखजीत जी, मैं ਤੁਹਾਡਾ दूसरा सेशन अटेंड ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੀ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਵੰਡਰਫੁਲ
Thank you.
ਤੇ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਵਾਰੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੋ ਐਮਪਾਵਰ ਕਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੁਝ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੁਝ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਤੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਹਾਸਿਲ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਲੈਗੇਸੀ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਇਆ, ਉਹ ਹਾਸਿਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕੰਟਰੋਲ ਲੈਸ, empower more.
So thank you. And I want to say those are not my words. When I was researching on this topic, I got that through that resource. But it is so powerful to me also.
Yes. That is very ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਕੋਟ ਹੈ ਕਿ
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ.
Control less, empower more.
Thank you so much. No problem. Mohini ji, you go next.
मैं क्या बताऊं, मुझे तो यही है कि MWC, they all just love me and I love them, and that is my inspiration to keep growing. Even if I am alone, I don't feel that I am lonely. I am alone. I spend my time, just like Rintu says, spend my time singing. And once before I said that I have some bhajans that I have raised several hundred thousands of dollars from different temples for this community. हम इधर 50 साल हो गए यहाँ आए हुए.
Beautiful.
मैं अपना समझिए बचपन ही इधर गुजारा है इस कनाडा में. कनाडा इज माय कंट्री.
Thank you.
तो इधर ही मैं भजन डिफरेंट टेम्पल्स में गा के बहुत पैसे इकट्ठे करके टेम्पल्स बने हैं, जो हिंदू सभा, हिंदू प्रार्थना समाज, मिसिसागा टेम्पल, ओकविल टेम्पल, उसमें different, and then I had produced first the tapes and then the CDs, and now you can listen to my bhajans on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud, yes, last time it was mentioned.
So for 3 hours you can listen. That's my passion. मुझे घर में टाइम मिलता है या थोड़ा टीवी देख लिया या बैठ के बाजे के ऊपर थोड़े गाने गा लिए, भजन गा लिया गाना। और आजकल नवरात्रे शुरू हुए हैं, बेस्ट विशेस फॉर नवरात्रि। माता रानी दे नवरात्रे शुरू होंगे।
Beautiful.
जगदियां जोता माली तेरी सदाई जय।
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mohini ji. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and keep singing, keep inspiring, and keep entertaining the whole world, because your music is on cloud. Thank you so much. Serene ji, please go ahead.
And that's what I used to even do in the Malton Lawn Care Center. Special days I used to celebrate Diwali, Dussehra, Durga Puja. I used to take all the Bhagwan's pictures, and sab log gather hote the hall mein, and we used to dance, we used to play music and sing along. That's the way I spend my time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Serene ji, please go ahead.
And thank you for sharing such a beautiful memory, Mohini. बहुत खूबसूरत आपने याद आपने शेयर किया हमारे साथ, तो उसलिए शुक्रिया और धन्यवाद मैं कहना चाहती थी. I think the takeaway for me, I know I haven't joined too many of these meetings, but I have met Uzma, so she has been a true sister to me, and she inspires me every day as well. I would love to even come to the May 28th event and even get your book and hear more about it. But I think the message that I want to take away is that I felt is always speak up, because you can be a voice for others too. So when I even used to ask questions in class, people used to actually thank me, because they're like, we were wondering the same thing, and you made it, because you asked, we understood a lot more, and everybody was on the same term, because those around you also are wondering too, and for you to speak up takes a lot of courage and energy, and people appreciate that. So never be afraid to say what you have to say.
Serene, I have the same tip which I gave to Manmeet. Put it somewhere in writing. Put it out to the world, because we say it in whole honesty, genuineness. This is how you are leaving a legacy, because our words and the words of wisdom from our ancestors, from the gods we worship, or God, or the religion we believe in, it's a living legacy, right? Same thing. Our words are also very empowering, very powerful. Sometimes it inspires others also. So the way you are mentioning, and the same advice, please put it out, write it down. I don't want to say that hire someone, but I'll say use Canva to put your quotes out, because that's how you can build more. You can empower more, you can build more, and then this is how one way of leaving a legacy. So thank you so much. Now quickly going to whoever want to speak. I see Harjeet Bhamra. Please go ahead. And after this, I will only look at who is raising their hand.
Good evening, everyone. I was with this session from the very beginning, and I was listening very good about the legacy they are carrying, and which they inherited. And the one thing where I want to make sure if we have a good legacy, and where we stand right now, that is a legacy which we are putting it forward to the next generation. This is what, if we are born in a noble family, or in a which has a very rich legacy, if we have not learned anything from the family, what is the fun of having, if we are born in that family? What is the fun of having won the degrees from prestigious universities, or you have a influential family at the back, if we are not carrying our good thoughts or the family legacy, and it should be shown in our behavior. I have learned so many. I have a good legacy of my family, and I have a great responsibility of putting it forward. And I have been I have been in the field of education, and so there are so many things which I don't want to share publicly, but I do have a legacy which I think it is my responsibility to give it to the next generation. And we were talking about the vibes and energies of the people. We often talk about, and whenever we move in a group, And we say nobody initiates the talk. Nobody wants to talk, say what she is talking, and everybody is judgmental about the talk, what they are talking, what she is talking, and they don't say they don't greet each other with good. They just start judging the person without knowing what he is feeling right now, or what background he has or has. And I think whatever I have learned in my life right now, the 3 words which were taught to me when I was very young, they were, if you want to something, say please. If you get something, say thank you, and say sorry if you make a mistake. And these words I am teaching those to my children also, and the next generation also. This was the message.
Thank you for sharing your
Thank
thoughts through your words, Harjeet ji. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Sukhjit ji, you go ahead.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸੁਖਜੀਤ ਜੀ, ਮੇਰਾ ਟੇਕ ਅਵੇ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕਿ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਚਲੋ ਫਲ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਬਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਮੈਂ ਲਰਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਕਿ ਬੋਲਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਲਾਈਫ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ। ਤੇ ਯਾ ਤੋ ਐਂਡ ਐਟ ਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਲੈ ਆਂਦਾ।
Thank you so much. It's a brave step. Honestly, I know for many reasons, there can be thousands reasons, but coming on camera is not easy. Believe me, meeting in person is easy. Coming on camera is not easy at all, right? Uzma may notice this, that now you don't see my flashy background because I have changed home. I have changed my setup. That setup is next to impossible if I'm doing a presentation. But I felt initially very hesitant whether how I will look, my background, this and that. Then who cares? It's the message you want to convey. And Sukhjit, we got your message. So thank you so much. Who else want to say the next? Anybody can unmute.
I would like to be the last one.
Okay. So this one would be the last one. This, who comes this?
You want to say something?
Oh, hi, Dan.
Okay. So this is from the book. I know my blur. Okay. I can change the background to none. So
I see, yes. Beautiful.
So this is in Urdu and in English. One chapter is in English, rest is in Urdu. So I'm going to read a few lines.
Please.
If I may. So in English, so somebody wrote about my father, and that somebody is my father's friend. I didn't know him. So it was, for some reason, I connected with him and he wrote. So we are talking about legacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He engaged in dialogue with anyone who came his way. He still lives through those people who carried the flame that he lit. You are one of them. He said no to power, and he would have made saying no a respectable act in Pakistan. So this is the power of saying no. So why he is the Socrates? Because he was, people are saying, वो ब्रेन वॉश कर रहे थे यूथ का कि नो कहना सीखो पावर को, गलत लोगों को, right? So he wrote, Azizul Haq's beauty is in his ambiguity. He touched many lives. The seeds of his love, work, and knowledge would germinate at so many places in unknown lands. People carrying the torch that he passed would not know where it came from. He was a drop of water that came with the clouds, traveled to the ocean, and became invisible. That is the end of a life well lived. He was only 32 when he passed away, 50 years before. Wow. No computer, no Google age. That was my father,
Beautiful.
Dr. Azizul Haq.
Beautiful.
And then there are some quotes in Urdu as well, जो कि उनके जाने के बाद उनके दोस्तों ने लिखी, तो उसमें से एक है, उन्होंने पूछा कि मैं यूनिवर्सिटी से फारिग होके किसी ने कहा कि आप पार्टी हाउस जाना, तुम्हें वहां अजीज मिलेगा। तो उन्होंने कहा मुझे कैसे पता चलेगा? उन्होंने कहा वहां जो शख्स सबसे अच्छा लगे वही अजीज है, डॉक्टर अजीजुल हक। तो वो जो लिविंग और लीविंग अ लेगेसी है वो ये है। फिर उन्होंने आगे लिखा, जो आपने बात की थी लेस कंट्रोल, वो है, अहम तरीन बात यह है कि डॉक्टर अजीज ने कभी भी किसी को भी अपनी राह पे चलने पे मजबूर नहीं किया। वो जबर और इख्तियार में फर्क करना चाहते थे। जबर इज कंट्रोल। इन्हें सब्र करना और इंतजार करना आता था। और आगे इन्होंने लिखा है, सॉरी मैं पहली दफा पढ़ रही हूँ सबके सामने, इट्स अ बिट इमोशनल फॉर मी।
I can feel it, but please carry on. It is beautiful.
इन्हें जिंदगी तुम्हें अजीज को तलाश करने के लिए, उनकी कहानी लिखने के लिए दर दर दस्तक देना पड़ेगी। उन बेशुमार लोगों के पास जाना पड़ेगा, लाखों लोगों से रुजू करना पड़ेगा जिनसे अजीज का रिश्ता बेहद अजीज रिश्ता था। तारीक छतों के नीचे सांस लेते बेशुमार लोगों से मिलना पड़ेगा और उन्हें जिंदगी का सलीका सिखाते। तो अजीजुल हक को मैंने देखा है, हाँ मैंने देखा है और महसूस किया है कि उस अजीज चेहरे से लोग किस कदर मोहब्बत करते हैं। मैंने देखा है कि जिस किसी ने उससे हाथ मिलाया उन्हीं का होके रह गया। लेकिन मैंने इस तारीख साज किरदार को अपने घर किसी गोशे में पड़े हुए बहुत दुख समेटते, लोगों के दुख समेटते देखा है। That is a legacy.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So डॉक्टर अजीज ने अपने मरने से एक हफ्ते पहले मुझसे पूछा था, अगर मैं मर गया तो क्या आप क्या करोगे? और मैंने जवाब दिया, मैं अजीजुल हक बन जाऊंगा।
Wow. Look at that. Uzma ji, quick question. Is it written in Urdu or English?
It is in Urdu. One paragraph is in English. And because मैं तो ज्यादा एक्सप्रेसिव हूँ, ये मेरे लेटर्स थे, पर्सनल लेटर्स थे जो डॉक्टर खालिद सुहेल है उनके साथ मैंने एक्सचेंज की। और फिर ये ऐसे डेवलप होते गया कि ये एक एंथोलॉजी सी बन गई है। इसमें डैडी के लिखे हुए हैं, डैडी के लोगों ने जो लिखा है वो है, मेरे अपने पर्सनल जो व्यूज हैं। इट्स लास्ट ईयर से बहुत इमोशनली मेरी जर्नी रही है एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट टाइम कि मैं कुछ उसमें से पढ़ रही हूँ।
Can you bring the book back to the camera, please?
Sure. So this is
beautiful. Beautiful.
That
is legacy. There you go. What better
legacy.
way?
I got it.
What
Yes.
better way?
और इतने प्यार से रिंटू जी ने और लोगों ने कहा कि हमें नहीं पता ये किस जबान में लिखी है, ये तुमने लिखी है।
मैंने कहा मैं पढ़ूंगी, किसी तरह भी पढ़ूंगी, लेकिन इसको पढ़ूंगी जैसे मर्जी हो।
So, Uzma, dialect is also Urdu?
Yes.
ये सारा उर्दू में है।
सारा उर्दू है मनमीत।
सिर्फ वन जो है वो इंग्लिश में है, बट दिस इज ओनली द टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग। जैसे आज वो बात हो रही थी मेरे भाई से डॉक्टर साहब की, तो उन्होंने कहा कि अब तो स्टार्ट होगी, क्योंकि जो आप लेगेसी की बात कर रहे हैं ना, कि जैसी डैडी का नाम आया तो किसी ने रशिया से, तो किसी ने ऑस्ट्रेलिया से, किसी ने इंग्लैंड से डैडी के मुतल्लिक लिखा, तो तब पता चला कि 50 साल गुजरने के बाद भी वो ऐसे लोगों के अंदर जिंदा है जिनका हमें नहीं पता। मैं नहीं जानती
लेगेसी।
ये जिन्होंने लिखा, जो मैं आपको सुना रही हूँ, मेरे घर वाले इनको नहीं जानते ये कौन है। मैं उनसे कनेक्ट हुई और वो मुझसे कनेक्ट हुए और अब मुझे पता चल रहा है, जो आज आप बातें कर रहे थे ना सारी, ये क्या मेरे डैडी वो लेगेसी है, वो जो उनकी बात है।
आप ही तो चला रहे हो ना, यही
मुझे तो नहीं पता, लेकिन मुझे इस चीज का 1 साल पहले नहीं पता था।
This is interesting. This is interesting, Rintu ji, when you said aap hi chala rahe ho. See, I am not surprised, because for my own journey, I'm not surprised, but either an incident or an accident or a person, somebody triggers that. So now I don't wonder at all what Uzma is, because somebody was saying, I think Manmeet, it was you or Pia, you know, for Uzma, anything and everything is possible. I have never saw her in last so many years since I got connected that, Sukhjit, this is not possible, or this is no. I mean, I say, if I count, there are not even 10 people I know that who are like Uzma. So if that is there is some DNA, there is some history. And you said how many years ago he passed away?
50.
50 years ago.
So
and how old you were? How old you were?
5.
There you go. So look at that.
So May 28th is his 50th death anniversary.
So that's how you are launching the book. Beautiful.
Yes.
I think Serene want to say something.
First of all, इतनी खूबसूरत किताब है और आपने जैसे जिक्र किया है, माशाल्लाह. I just wanted to say, ये जुबान नहीं, ये उनकी जान है. आप जो दे रहे हैं ना, वो उनकी एक जिंदगी थी और इतनी खूबसूरत थी. और मैं खुद बहुत खुश होंगी अगर मैं भी ये पढ़ सकूंगी. और जो सब ने मिलके आपको ये तोहफा दिया है, ये आप सबसे बड़ी ब्लेसिंग है आपके लिए कि आपके अब्बू की यादें फिर रोशन होगी आपके लिए.
सुखजीत जी, मैं एक बात कहना चाहूंगी कि
प्लीज
उज़मा की बुक जब अनु ने डाला ही ना, तो मैंने उसी टाइम मैंने अपनी डॉटर को बोला कि इसको अमेज़न का उन्होंने दिया, तो मेरे पास नहीं पहुंची, 2 दिन लेट हो गई, है ना. तो मैं उज़मा गुलनाज ने डाल दी, तो मैंने उज़मा को मैसेज किया, मैं कहा मेरी इतनी रोंदू शक्ल बना के मैंने कहा कि मैं चाहे इसे अभी नहीं पढ़ सकती लेकिन मेरे को उज़मा के साथ जो मेरी कन्वर्सेशन थी, जो बीच बीच में कभी कभी होती थी साल भर में, तो मेरे को पता है कि वो कैसे वो चली है. लेकिन स्टार्ट जब हुआ था, तो फर्स्ट डे जिस दिन डॉक्टर खालिद ने बोला था कि अपने फादर के बारे में बोलो, तो उज़मा ने एक लाइन बोली, आई डोंट नो माय फादर. तो उस बात से ये इस जो अजीजुल हक की जो है ना शुरुआत हुई थी, तो वो बात मैं आज तक भूल नहीं सकती. और उसके लिए मैं सच्ची में मतलब मेरे दिल से ब्लेसिंग्स थी उज़मा के लिए कि ये होना चाहिए. तो मैं बहुत खुश हूँ उज़मा, आपके लिए बहुत 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 प्यार.
तो सुखजीत जी, मुझे ये नहीं था कि मेरे फादर नहीं है, ठीक है. मुझे ये था, मैंने बल्कि अपने एक खत में लिखा है कि मेरे लिए ऐसे है कि मैं कुएं के पास जाती हूँ, चश्मे के पास जाती हूँ, मैं अपनी रिफ्लेक्शन देखती हूँ, मैं उसका पानी नहीं पी सकती. मुझे उनके आइडियाज और आइडियल्स का नहीं पता, क्योंकि वो किसी और लेवल के थे. उनका जो इंटेलेक्ट था वो आम बंदा नहीं समझ सकता, वो मेरी समझ से बहुत ऊपर की चीज है, वो मैं नहीं समझ सकती. तो मुझे ये दुख है कि आई विश कि मैं किसी ऐसे शख्स के साथ जिंदगी गुजारती, कुछ और साल गुजारती, तो मैं और सीखती. तो मुझे एक नेचुरल है कि चले फादर नहीं, लेकिन चूंकि मैंने देखा नहीं, तो फिर उस तरह का आपको दुख नहीं होता, ठीक है. कि मेरी मदर ने हमारी इतनी अच्छी परवरिश, मैं आज जो कुछ भी अपनी मदर की वजह से हूँ ना, सिखाया तो मेरी मदर ने, तरबियत तो उन्होंने की है, जीन्स फादर की हैं. लेकिन वो चीज जो मैंने मिस की है, और अब जबकि मैं इनको डिस्कवर कर रही हूँ फादर को अपने, तो और मिस करती हूँ मैं कि आई विश कि मैं इस शख्स से बैठ के कुछ सीखती करती. तो वो लेटर्स हैं, और मेरी पूरी कोशिश होगी जहां जहां मैं शेयर कर सकूंगी अपने लेटर्स उर्दू के, वो मैं आप सब लोगों के साथ करूंगी. तो वो जो आज का टॉपिक, ये मैं आज कभी भी शेयर ना करती, लेकिन वो जो लेगेसी की बात हुई है, मैं सबको ये मैसेज देना चाहती हूँ, ये लेगेसी होती है.
That is true. That is very true.
Legacy.
So you are not only talking about your father, you're talking about a person who impacted not 1, 2, not 100, but you said from all these countries, there is an impact. So that is a legacy. Now you have formed, shaped that legacy, which will stay forever for generations to come. It will be part of regular library. It will be part of your family legacy and all that stuff. So congratulations, Uzma. This is amazing.
और आंटी कहती हैं तुमने 50 साल के बाद अपने बाप को जिंदा कर दिया.
Beautiful. Look at that. That is another thing. We were not able to say it, but आंटी जी ने एक ही वर्ड में बोल दिया कि 50 साल बाद बाप को जिंदा कर दिया, which means he's alive. Because you see, the moment it was put on Facebook, मैं सिर्फ ये देख रहा था कि I only know Uzma Irfan, but when I look at the glasses and I say, then I made my own link that, oh my goodness, wow. But see, now the beauty is this, that Dr. Bukhari ने तो ये बोल दिया, लेकिन रिंटू ने उसका trigger point भी बताया है कि I don't know my father, and now you know your father more than anyone else in this form, and you are sharing this with the world, because this is the beauty, I believe, Manmeet, jo aap bol rahe the, what you mentioned also, right? That this word is like that, or you know, at some point it is not empowerment, it is more of control and this and that. So now I think with this book we have a proof that why this Uzma is the way she is. We got the answer, I believe so. This book tells all those answers. So thank you so very much. I am not in rush of shawarma, so don't take me wrong, please. I am here. I should not have said openly. So don't worry about it. But I'm still here. We can still talk if you want to share anything. But I think, Uzma, there is nothing beautiful and more powerful and meaningful than you shared this. Because, you know, my thank you and my slide share will not end the presentation. I think this is the best way to end the presentation. And I'm looking forward to that 28th of May. Uzma book is right here. मेरा दिन वो उधर ही है. अभी I don't know कि चाय के पकौड़े हैं कि चाय अकेली है. But I tell you one thing, it should be grand and big.
सब कुछ होगा.
चलिए. So shall we wrap it up?
Yes, please.
So I will say my thanks to each one of you. And big surprise for me is Pia follows me. And big surprise for me that I am now going to, Manmeet, you got my interest, so I'm going to follow. If you become part of MWC Facebook, then I already follow you. But you know, this is how we learn about each other and get involved. So thank you from my end. I would like to thank Uzma. Anu is not present, but I want to acknowledge the support also I get through Malton Women Council. And thank you so much. I also feel that I'm an integral part of Malton Women Council, though it is Malton Women Council. I am big supporter of women empowerment, not only the lip service, my wife can tell, my daughter can tell, and all those women who are in my life as a friend, as a mentor, as my critic, they all know that I have a special space, which will stay special. And for that, I thank my mom and my two sisters. So thank you very much. And you all have a wonderful legacy. Over to you, Uzma.
Thank you so much, Sukhjit ji. मेरा नहीं ख्याल कि कोई और इतना अच्छा इस टॉपिक पे बोल सकता था.
Thank you.
You are the best. और सबने दिल खोल के अपनी बात की, आपने सुना, अपना टाइम दिया. I know almost half an hour ऊपर हो गया, but आपको पता है हम लोग.
I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it.
It's thank you so much. बहुत अच्छी प्रेजेंटेशन थी. आप मुझसे शेयर कर दीजिएगा जो आपने वो
resources. Yes,
I will
for sure.
I will share with everyone.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And right timings.
Serene, you wanted to say something. I think she raised.
Yes, I want to say salam to Auntie Ji. I love her videos and माशाल्लाह आप इतनी प्यारी हैं, इतनी खूबसूरत हैं और कौन कैसे क्या आपको प्यार ना करे.
Serene, I fell in love with her when first time Uzma shared. मैं सोच रहा हूँ उज़मा ने कभी बताया नहीं कौन है ये, क्या मेरे को पुआ चाची मैंने कुछ नहीं सी पता. But the way Uzma and Auntie Ji was on bench and this, I said, wow, what pure love, what pure respect is flowing. So I think we all fell in love with Dr. Bukhari that way. And I had an opportunity to actually see her from distance, I actually saw her also. So
Yes.
thank you.
But
So let's
thank
wrap
you.
it up. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Until we meet next time, have a good weekend. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.